We're off. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Aye. Well, alrighty then. Uh, shh. Mm, mm, who else? Um, um, Catherine. And we're off. Om Namah Shivaya. My apologies to whoever may be able to hear this broadcast before or after, having a slight bit of technical mm, wonders going on here. And wow, interesting, interesting. Lots of stuff going on, lots of energies. I understand, oh, Mercury's in a retrograde, which is always fun. And in the meantime, I am working as fast as I can. Oh my goodness. Because the studio is doing its thing right now. So I'm not sure if I'm not on that page. I'm not sure if anybody else is there. Please bear with me. Here we go. Okay, and I need to shut that down. That's something else entirely. There we go. got to have the ohm in the background. This is how it works. Hi. Okay. And the link for this evening is now in Messenger. Uh, hmm. And let's see, what do we have here? Okay. Very good. And it is off. Alrighty. So everyone has the link now, before or after. And I will. Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Alrighty then. Uh, okay, that wonderful phone. And please check your did I send it to Robert? Okay. That may be why he didn't get it. Maybe I didn't send it to Robert. I thought I had. Let me just send it again. Okay. Okay. Who is there? Who is there?
Hi there.
Hello? Hello? Who is that? I
This
can't
is
see.
Tony.
Oh, hi. Hello, sweetie. I am sending out the link again. Evidently, there's a little bit of technological hocus pocus I've got to perform this evening. So thank you for bearing with me, because everyone, there's Robert. Okay. Is everybody here? Almost. We've got Reverend Sharon coming in, and Nelia is texting me for the second time, asking for the link. I don't know what's going on. Somebody said it's the what is it? The Mercury in retrograde thing.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't bother me. The Mercury in retrograde is a good thing, right? Of course it is.
Ultimately, yes.
It's always a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Just not good to sign contracts.
Oh. I don't see anything wrong with signing contracts around that time. You could always blame whatever's going on the Mercury in retrograde.
Yeah, right?
Okay. So we've got, let's see. So you're here, Tony's here. Okay. I have to do this one more time. My apologies, but this is something that happens every once in a while when doing this kind of thing. That the technologically, I had to shut down the computer and start entry again, because I kept getting messages, this isn't working, that isn't working. And a lot of times it's YouTube. So you guys are here. Yay.
Yeah, I had to get a new laptop for work because I've been getting so busy, and my old laptop was not performing, and it would freeze and get stuck, and I would have to wait around before it came back on. And so I was like, okay, I need to make the investment. So I did, and so now we're talking on it right now.
Great, great. Okay, that is phenomenal. Now, we'll just hold me in manifestation of getting a new laptop myself. That will work wonders for me. Now, I'm using a PC, and so that's not the problem though. YouTube does back out. YouTube does monitor. They've pulled videos on me before, which I don't usually complain about, but they do stuff like that. So I know that it's basically YouTube. Yeah. But anyway, good evening, my fellow light travelers.
Good evening.
This is Reverend Sharon and Reverend Robert and Tony. Have to introduce you guys. Okay. And this evening we're going to be doing just a bit of traveling with the Rising Heart. And I know that not last week, but the week before, Tony was on, Reverend Sharon was on. As a matter of fact, let me send her another email right now or text just to make sure she's on the ticket. And please bear with me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just put you guys on mute for a second. And that's mute from my end. I can still hear you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Hello, Tony. How are you?
I'm doing well. So nice to see you and hear from you.
It's so nice to see you too.
How have you been?
Oh, it's been a little tough lately, but I've been good.
Oh, great, great, great. Yeah,
Nothing going on in my immediate world. Extra stuff that gets thrown in my path. You know?
I hear you. I hear you. It does get challenging, and I'm working on, moving into a different vibration so that I am attracting like vibration.
Very good. I like you.
Yeah, but it's so easy to move back into the old and switch back and forth. So they say it takes about 16 to 17 seconds to focus on something, and then that's what you attract.
I'm sending my coworker a notice to let her know that we're on.
That looks like a big gulp.
Oh. Hello, Nelia.
Hi,
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good to see you. I'm fine, honey.
You too. I've got to come up and visit you.
Please do. I would love to see you.
Thank you. I'd love to see you too.
Thank you, honey.
Good evening, Miss Sharon. We lost her?
No, we didn't lose her. She's doing some administrative stuff.
Aha.
Okay, O'Reilly. There we are. Yes, there we go. Okay, no, I'm still sending texts. I've gotten texts to Akil and to Reverend Sharon. No one's responding. So we'll just keep going until everyone is here, whenever that is.
All right.
As soon as possible, hopefully. But okay. I would like us to start with just a settling breath. Nothing out of the ordinary, just taking a moment to take in a deep breath. Holding that breath for as long as you possibly can and releasing it through parted lips. And breathe. Anything else, everything else that you hear, see, or feel is never as important as who you are. And we breathe. Breathing in through the nostrils, releasing through parted lips, allowing the breath of light to come through the heart. This is the season. This is the time and place that we allow to accept the rising of the heart. In the work that we do as light workers, in the place that we are as beings of light, sovereigns of the light, we feel the energy of the heart. And we take another deep breath, and we release that breath with the vibration of the frequency of the Om. Om. Another deep breath. Om. And once again, breathe. Om. And relax. What you will hear, you already know, because it comes through your heart. And it is so. Hello, Polly.
Hello, honey. How are you?
I am fabulous and always glad to see and hear you. You're one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you, darling. Looking forward to this.
Well, we are here. Okay, so as everyone is sort of oming in, Robert has some great intel for you. Are you going to start the reading out, Reverend Robert?
I can begin. As we're going in to the excerpt from Liminal Cosmogony, Teachers of Light, entitled The Rising Heart. This is very detailed information. And for those that don't have books, I wanted to take the opportunity to read this out so that you would be able to follow. It's of dire importance. If you become confused, I urge you to stop me at the end of a paragraph and we can discuss. I don't care about rereading. I don't care if we only got 2 paragraphs done. I want to make sure that you understand and take this information into the best of your ability. So I will begin. The light body is a particle of the divine mind, cast from the central sun into and through the fourth and fifth dimensional matrices in order to embody within a human being the essence of the central sun. The light body's materialization begins from the seventh dimension, cascading into materiality where it settles into the first manifested being, the human heart. Within the human instrument, it is the heart that is originally the nucleus home of the light body. But eventually the light body's locus drifts upward to the pineal gland at the base of the brain, usually in the first 7 years of life. Here it typically remains until the physical body expires, at which time it recirculates within the higher light realms of the fifth dimension, wherein unity and the connective field of pure love radiates unimpeded by matter. This is the ground of soul where all beings flow in the vibrant river of sound and light. The light body is composed of the light of the central sun. Within each of the galaxies is a central sun that acts as the transmitter of the divine mind within the galactic multiverse. The central sun is the trans-dimensional portal within each galaxy that interconnects all galaxies and dimensions of life therein to the pulsing heartbeat of the grand central sun, from whence the primacy of sound and light arise. It is the integrative nexus between the physical and spiritual planes, and thus the central sun is the quantum sum of all suns within the galaxy, and this quantum light lives within the human instrument as its light body. In a very real sense, we are all born from this sound and light of the grand central sun, and it is to this pulsing, rhythmic heartbeat that we are all entrained to varying degrees. It is this entrainment that reestablishes our alignment to the grand expansion and restores our access to the higher intelligence, where we become the willing impulse of divine will. The light body is the seer of reality within the individual identity. It is the wholeness navigator that detects the frequencies of fifth dimensional essence in the lower dimensions of matter, time, and space. It is the bearer of alignment to the plan of the one creator. It is the portal of guidance within the one who is separated from unity by the veils of illusion. It is the voice within the void that calls to your mind and heart, beckoning its recognition and restoration as within the void, that as your true identity and that of all others as well. It is the connection between the heart and mind that allows for true creation to occur. It is the telepathic portal that hears and sees the divine intelligence and then activates its expression within the lower realms by mere presence. The light body is the core of consciousness, and this interior core is shifting. In your world, it is shifting back to your heart, but its nucleus home is now between the heart and throat, known as the thymus or the heart's crown. We will speak of it as the rising heart. The rising heart is located on two axes or fields of vibration. The first is the horizontal axis, which is the field of planets. The second is the vertical axis, which is the field of the central sun. The a lot of terms that we're not necessarily familiar with. They're not quite natural to us.
Well, I think, well, let me ask the group here. Is there anyone that feels uncomfortable with the terms so far?
It makes a ton of sense.
Yes.
You
Polly?
know,
No, it makes good sense to me.
Yeah. Why does it make sense, you guys?
well, only a part of us, a fraction of us, is here in physicality. And our divine self, our God self, or our creators, and self is always on the other side. So we're only living this physicality through a small fraction.
Makes sense. Would you say you agree with that, Polly?
I do, and I also feel that that they were saying that our consciousness at the moment is on the exterior, and that we need to go into the interior, which is where the heart virtue lies on that dimension.
Hmm. O'Reilly, I don't hear anything from you. Hello? Are you there? Nelia.
I'm here. I'm here. I have a question.
You have a question? Go for it.
Okay, so the grand central sun is source. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, could you repeat that again, Nelia?
Is the grand central sun source?
It is the true light coming from source.
Okay.
It is the light and the illumination
It seems
that
like
guides our heart.
it seems like the sun is a relaying mechanism that connects us from spirit to physicality, if I understand it correctly.
Is that I didn't get that. Is that like that's like an emanation for source, right? He emanates through the grand central sun. Is that?
In a manner of speaking.
Okay.
In a manner of speaking, yes. It is light and sound come together through what emanates from the grand central sun.
I'm going to sound really weird right now, but from my experience with the sun, I feel that that's a great term for it. I look at it also as a portal, which is probably the same thing. How does it sound?
Well, the grand central sun is a portal.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. So I just wanted to point that out. Tony, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, to me, the sun is what translates us from source to physicality.
Okay. Okay. I can see that. I can see that.
So it seems like the sound or the sun allows us to have this physical reality. It's a mechanism that allows us to be able to experience this physical existence.
Well, now, a portal, if we go with the true definition of a portal, is, oh my goodness, There's so many definitions that can be attributed to a portal. I see it as a doorway or a gateway in which entry can be observed or can be precipitated. Um, there are
Like,
some.
like
There
a
are some that,
wormhole.
more or less, more or less. That's a good term for it. Um, there are so many different uh, definitions or terms that can be used. I know that Robert was concerned that everyone would be on the same page with the definitions that are being used, and so I think though that a wormhole would be a part of it.
I think the next page brings it a little bit more into perspective.
Do you want me to read the next page and give you a break?
It doesn't matter to me. It's entirely up to you.
Oh,
I could do either.
okay. Well, I tell you what. Rest your lozenge. Rest your larynx for a moment, and I'll take the next 3 paragraphs, and then, if you like, you can take the 3 after.
Okay.
Okay. On the planetary axis, there is the material being or human instrument composed of the sheaths that protect and sustain the light body, the physical body, emotional and mental sheaths of the 3rd and 4th dimensional matrix. This axis represents the planet meeting your light body. It is the axis of grounding and anchoring the light body to the planet and the physical beings upon her. On the central sun axis, there are the descending and ascending streams of energy that connect your light body to its source, the central sun. It is from this connection that the grand awakening of physical beings occurs, and the divine current is felt tugging on your human instrument, calling it to activation and awakening its will to become a vehicle for the light body. The light body is the zygote of consciousness formed by the union of divine light and sound. It is born radiant, pure, intelligent, and life-sustaining. The light body listens to both your thought-scape and feeling-scape, adjusting its radiance in accordance to its perceptions. Thus, the light body reacts to the lower dimensional matrix, and in this way is influenced by the individual's level of coherence, intelligent expression, creative insight, and higher mind intuition. As the core of consciousness shifts to the new axis of the rising heart, the internal coherence of the individual becomes the amplifier of the light body's radiance in the world of form. This internal coherence is heightened when the thoughtscape and feelingscape of the individual are aligned and flowing in the river of divine will. It is then that the light body can truly step forward and radiate its purpose on the planetary level. Reverend Robert?
The radiant and intelligent expression of the light body in mass is the true meaning of life in the planetary axis, because it is the action of collective intelligence that enables the planned and unplanned evolutionary paths to converge and empower the planetary shifts that enable dimensional ascension for all who are prepared. This increase in the expression of light and love within the planetary sphere opens the grand portal, which is the gateway for the planet to access the 5th dimensional matrix of pure connective energy, which is, in essence, divine love intelligence. As the children of light begin to activate their light bodies while living within a human instrument They will sense the presence of their electromagnetic field as it becomes enmeshed with their every breath. The breath washes over the rising heart in both the in-breath and out-breath. When breathing in, the energy symbolically descends from the central sun and flows through the crown chakra, settling at the solar plexus just below the heart. There, it sparkles in the golden light of your signature tone. When breathing out, the energy is released from the solar plexus up to the planetary axis at the height of the thymus or rising heart, and then radiates outward with dominance to the horizontal plane. In this time of the Grand Awakening, the light body is becoming centered at the rising heart because the mind, where it has been centered for thousands of years, is enmeshed in static and distortions that confound the light body's ability to fully radiate its energetic field upon the planetary grid and fulfill its purpose. The intersection of the two axes, planetary and central sun, is the activation point of the individual. The integration of breath and imagination is the most efficient method through which this activation can occur and be sustained within the human instrument. The breath of the rising heart is the practice of breathing from the central sun and expressing this breath energy into the planetary grid. It is the method of activation taught on all planets for those aligned to the plan of expansion into the lands unknown. When you read these words, you will understand intuitively, for you know well the mysterious purpose that stirs you awake and compels you to action.
Whoa, I love that part. I love that part. Any questions? Any comments?
Well, that's really great stuff.
Okay.
We came here because this is the only place we can have duality, and we came here to experience that, and at the same time, we came here to awaken to our higher selves, our oversoul, our divinity, what you might want to call it. But we did come here to experience certain things and to determine how we're going to handle them. So that makes a ton of sense.
Mm.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, the activation, I think I heard you say it happens between the central sun and the grand central sun. So you're not activated here, it's beyond here. Is that?
Partly here and partly beyond here. The grand central sun is not within our scope of vision. It is not our sun that sits and warms this planetary bodies.
Right. So it's once you go through the central sun, in between that time before you get to the grand central sun. Is that's my question?
No, I'm still not understanding that question, Nelia. You want to repeat that for me?
Okay, so you said partly we get activated here.
Right.
We would go through our central sun in our own universe. And then beyond that, we go through the grand central sun, or we go to the grand central sun.
All right.
Is that the end point, the grand central sun, or do we go through that as well?
It influences. It is the creation of our light body. Our light body is that spiritual side of us. That is a reflection of the grand central sun.
Okay.
For instance, our light body is that which influences us to hear, to see beyond, to hear beyond, to see beyond. Our sentience is linked to our light body.
Yes.
Our ability to heal is linked to our light body.
Right.
Yes.
Our love that influences others is connected to our light body.
Yes. Totally agree with that.
And that light body is powered by the grand central sun,
Okay.
not the sun sitting in our heavens,
Right, right.
but from beyond the dimension which we can humanly see.
Okay, I got that.
If we were going to give it another name, that would make sense to our human minds being exposed to this for a first time. The grand central sun is the mother of all suns.
Right. I get that. Okay.
Oh, words are not, it's not that they're limiting. However, there's so many different ways to define things in this matrix. And we're associating with concepts that until now have really been, is hidden a good word, Robert?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hidden is a very good word.
Okay.
We haven't been crowded with more than we could cope with. We are always affected by that grand central sun because we're always affected by our light body. Our light body is part of what powers the soul and the spirit, which in this life, in this 3-dimension, are two distinct, dare I use the word organisms, although they're not organisms, they're energy bodies. But when we transcend this life and move into the next dimension, those two distinctly separate vehicles become one. They join together and become one. Only in human form is the soul and the spirit separate.
Good point. And that in itself is a concept that we have, we can correct that concept because it's really not the way things are. We are all one. Oh, there's a quote that James uses on how we are all a part of the one heart. The texture of the heart is all a part of the one. And I don't remember the exact quote, but I remember the feeling, the emotion of it. To know that as separate as we believe ourselves to be, we are not. We are all made from the same light, the same frequency.
Wow. We are source. We are definitely, most certainly source, just having this physical experience. But we are source. We come from that source, energy, vibration, frequency, whatever we want to call it. We're still a part of it. Just having this duality, this physical experience.
Okay. I will, if it's okay with you, Reverend Robert, take the next 4 or the next 3. The next 4, if it's okay with you.
Fine.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. The breath of soul is directed by the light body, whose seat of intelligence resides at the point of the rising heart. You can imagine this is as a portal within the body that receives the electromagnetic field of light from the central sun through the in-breath and directs it to the solar plexus, and on the out-breath channels it across the planetary axis as a way of grounding the energy within the field of third-dimensional beings. It is this grounding of the energy, directed by the light body, infused with the internal coherence of the human instrument, that enables the human emotional field to build the collective heart and connected mind that enables the planet to step through higher dimensional barriers with relative ease and grace. Before I go any farther, this first paragraph, Robert, and you see the seeds in this very first paragraph. Would you please read this paragraph over? Because I know that this is something that is very, very important as far as the central sun through the in-breath and directs it to the solar plexus, and on the out-breath channels it across the planetary axis. I know that you have something to say on that.
The breath of soul is directed by the light body, whose seat of intelligence resides at the point of the rising heart. Now, remember here, the rising heart is the heart with the thymic crown. And it is rising with maturity and integrity. It is rising so that we can access different dimensions. Okay, to go on, you can imagine this as a portal within the body that receives the electromagnetic field of light from the central sun through the in-breath and directs it to the solar plexus, and on the out-breath channels it across the planetary axis as a way of grounding the energy within the field of third-dimensional beings.
That is powerful information. This is a method of meditation.
And it sums up when, which, how.
Yeah. That is awesome.
To be familiar with, to know the chambers within the heart that possess all of the love that we are taught in this study. The love of compassion, the love of forgiveness, the love of valor, so on and so on. As we breathe in, it directs it to the solar plexus.
Yes.
Right here. Right here. And on the out-breath, channels it across the planetary axis as a way of grounding the energy within the field of third-dimensional beings. So we're spreading that across the planet. It envelops the whole of the earth.
What is not ordinarily recognized is that particular technique is what is taught when you are learning Kriya Yoga. And I am whatever level in Kriya Yoga, and in Kundalini Yoga. That is a part of the technology. This is why the yogis can reach the states of consciousness that they do, because this is the type of breathing that they practice. And this is good stuff. It is. Very good stuff. It is this grounding of the energy directed by the light body, infused with the internal coherence of the human instrument, that enables the human emotional field to build the collective heart and connected mind that enables the planet to step through higher dimensional barriers with relative ease and grace. And I would say that's probably what's taking place now with all the things that's going on. The entire planet is stepping into or through dimensional barriers, higher barriers. This is a time of action, and the action is to activate your light body to its purposeful role within your human instrument and to share its higher light frequencies to the human emotional field. This activity regrids the collective heart and connective mind to the emerging culture of the one, unified planet, moving in the upward spiral of the seven-dimensional hypersphere in which all beings within its quantum and space-time presence are unified with the planet, and the planet with the central sun. In this future time, beings will be galactic citizens, and they will commune with other intergalactic citizens and see the universe as they now see the planet. Each of you who embody the light of the central sun and not only carry it with you, but purposefully radiate it through your actions of intelligent love and the virtuous heart. You are builders of this future time, and your actions will be acknowledged with its direct experience. I know there's some questions, right?
Not for me.
Hello. Where are you guys? My goodness, it's so quiet.
You know, it's a lot to take in. So
It is a lot to take in.
it's,
Oh, it's too much to take in?
no, not too much, but it's very deep. So, but it's good that we're chewing on this big piecemeal.
I don't know. I find it, oh my gosh, it excites me because I feel it. And a lot of it, this is not the first time I've experienced this feeling with this. What was it that I said when I found out? E.T. Found Home. What Dr. Ayala always teases me about, don't run to the first starship that you see when they come.
Test it first.
Oh, goodness.
Could be one of ours. That would be
It
the
could be one of ours. Yeah. Tony, you're awfully quiet. Are you still there? Uh-oh. Maybe he fell asleep?
No, I'm just taking it all in
Okay.
and processing. I agree with it 100%.
Okay. Okay. Polly has been very quiet also.
I'm here too, and I'm digesting all that information because I do agree with it all.
Yes. 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 Well, Reverend Robert.
Okay, here we go.
You get the next three.
The breath through the rising heart is an activator of your light body. Internal coherence within your human instrument is the sustaining and evolving force of this activation, independent of the travails that befall you or the human family. You can generate this internal coherence through the practice of breathing through the rising heart and expressing the radiant beauty of the higher light through the virtues of the heart, the intelligence of the higher mind, and the ascendant beauty of the spirit. When the breath of the soul radiates outward on the planetary axis of the individual, it takes on the signature field of that individual. This signature is like a carrier wave to the original signal from the central sun. And it is this carrier wave that is the key factor that enables the rays of the central sun to cut through the static and distortions of the planet's electromagnetic fields. There are many competing currents and conflicts within the planetary realm before its entrance into the higher dimensions of the etheric plane. These currents will pull you, push you, and deliver you to shores of indeterminacy and questionable value. There are light bodies cast in human instruments that are so darkened that they are like black holes in space, swallowing in light and the gravity of their misguided ignorance. The light body is, in some ways, a fragile consciousness. It listens well and responds to what it hears. It sees the higher realities, but it also dives deep into the lowest realms, seeking out the unique separation veils that empower its discernment, which ultimately reinstates its power as a sovereign integral of the highest order.
Whoa. Yes, yes, I agree with that. Most definitely. But and I don't know if anybody else can feel it, but I can. Well, Robert always says that I'm extremely sensitive, but the rising heart, I can feel it. That's why Mercury in retrograde doesn't bother me. It's like the heart has slowed down for a moment instead of speeding us into other things, other reactions.
I feel like listening to all this, like we're so special. You know, I can't even find the words to encompass, you know, I mean, just how I can't, just how special this makes me feel to hear that we have this capacity that we can transcend and we can, I'm like, I'm in awe.
We are sovereign.
The word special doesn't explain what I'm trying to say. I just can't think of another word that would just, I don't know, but it's just, I feel like I don't know. I can't explain it exactly, but I just feel like I've just been, you know, when you stand up straight and you pull your chest out and you know, yeah, that's how I feel after listening to that.
I know what she's talking about.
Yeah,
like a boost. You got a boost.
Yeah.
Like what you're waiting for.
You know, it's really all about alignment with source and intent. Where your frequencies align, that's what you bring in. So it's about aligning with source.
And What could be more important than that?
Yes. Amen.
So breath is very important. This is,
Oh, yeah.
that's,
But it's also about aligning with beings from other dimensions.
That as well. Yeah.
Listen, we might be technologically inferior, but I have always said and often said that the human soul and the human spirit are so large and so superior. This is why, despite our confusion, our ignorance, we are revered throughout all of the multiverses. We are revered and we are envied because we have the capacity to embody this work. Other cultures might not be able to so easily, particularly those that are born soulless, spiritless. They're desperately trying to catch up.
We chose a really hard experience. We chose a lot of obstacles, a lot of things to get us through this, physicality. So it means a lot because we probably can't experience this, and we don't experience this on the other side. We are really at the forefront, going through all this stuff that in spirit, we know all is well. We know everything's perfect. But we chose to come here to, be able to live out those things that really create the experiences that we wanted, and they're not fun. But how do we reach total soul evolution? Or how do we, become the best that we can be in the soul sense by going through all this stuff?
but are we not complete from the beginning?
We are, but Source, infinite light seeks experience. And each of us is making those experiences happen.
Reverend Robert?
I'm going to withhold any commentary right now. I am looking at the time at 9:47 and seeing how much more we have to cover here.
Okay.
I think we should get through this and
Okay.
then maybe fall back on some interpretation.
All right. I can take the rest of it if you want, and I'll just read straight through, if that's okay.
If that's what you wish, that's fine.
The life of the light body is complex, more complex than you can imagine, and yet you can appreciate its goals and the journey it weaves to achieve them because your intuition and imagination enable you to feel the edges of its reality. Those who are the builders of the grand expansion are embodied in human instruments, and they are awakening to their light bodies as their light bodies begin to activate to the new rays of light and love that are flowing from the central sun. We refer to these individuals as builders because they are the architects and engineers who are building the new culture, monetary system, technology, and mind-body-spirit systems that will endure as the planet transforms itself to the new energetic grid of the higher fourth dimension. Within the builders are the planetary teachers, and these are the ones who are now blossoming as the new rays embolden their light bodies, to harmonize, resonate, and co-create with one another. There are saviors and messiahs that entered the planetary grid in its third dimensional and lower fourth dimensional state to periodically realign the spiritual teachings of humanity to their ancient source. However, now is the time when the teachers of light are operating as a collective power, joining together to weave a new fabric of time, space, and energy, one that is ultimately the portal to the fifth dimension. The planetary teachers are generally embodied, while the central sun teachers are mostly operating in their light bodies on higher dimensions, and in some cases, other galaxies. The planetary teachers of light require activation, internal coherence, a balanced inflow and outflow of love and light through a virtuous and heart-filled behavioral system, and the quiet of reconnection time to rejuvenate and rebalance their human instrument. The rising heart technique is a system to achieve each of these requirements. It is not the only way, it is a proven way. It is a framework that can be adapted and modified to suit an individual's preferences of imagination and intuition. The teachers of light are quantum beings of great power. Though they wear human instruments of density and distortion, they never lose sight of their rightful purpose and their ultimate ascendancy of their family of light. The human instrument is a fabric of frustration for the teachers of light, as they know well what they are, but like a ballet dancer wearing a spacesuit, they are not able to express the fullness of their higher wisdom in the material worlds. This frustration is coupled to the third dimension construct that teachers must teach through words, spoken or written, and yet we tell you that it is through your behavioral system, the expression of your virtuous heart, and the application of techniques like the rising heart that define you as a teacher of light. The writings of the planetary teachers are telepathically transmitted by the central sun teachers, who in turn translate the energetics of the central sun and step down these higher energies into the vocabulary of the human family. This is a system of dispensation that prevails on all planets until the species achieves fifth dimensional equilibrium, at which time the communication from the central sun is direct and immediate. The central sun, in essence, is opening the channels of telepathic communications to the teachers of light as they are able to, and last page, transmit the vibratory energies to the general masses entrenched in the energetic quagmire of the previous and current dimensions. Reverend Robert, if you would take the last three, I would be very appreciated.
As planets ascend interdimensionally, they require a higher connection to the central sun to draw them from their present dimensional grid into the next level. And this is precisely what the central sun teachers instruct the planetary teachers to do, to facilitate this higher connection through various techniques that activate the light body of the teachers of light, so they may collectively create this higher connection. If you will inhale the light of the central sun and take it into your soul's workshop, adding your fingerprint of love for your brothers and sisters, and then release this higher light to them and your planet, you are creating this higher connection in this simple act, not only for yourself, but for all. All of the human family benefits, for we all rise on the same currents of divine love and the higher intelligence that pervades it. The teachers of light have the opportunity to re-energize their association of the breath and heartbeat and feel their rhythmic energy as the connection to life and the higher universal intelligence that flows from the grand central sun. In doing this, you bring yourself into alignment to the Grand Awakening as the higher truths are being downloaded to your world, your human family living between the forces of light and dark will awaken to the multidimensional world and leave the fields of illusion behind, never to return. Wow, we don't have to ban guns.
Oh, God. Yes, we do.
We don't even have to. All we have to do is send enough love out. They'll end. They'll turn them in. They'll give them up.
Ah, well, I like that theory. It means awakening more teachers,
Yeah.
which is what I think is one of the purposes of your being who you are, Reverend Robert.
I got to tell you, I don't know how, I don't know when I get back to teaching. I've narrowed my scope of teaching, but I'm also creating a very strict and very stringent curriculum, and not everybody will be admitted into that teaching.
Mm.
I can't deal with I don't know. I don't even want to use the word I wanted to use. It sounds terrible. But we're not cheap, we're not tawdry in our very nature. We are extraordinary beings. We have to rise to the occasion. To be an emissary of the Creator, to carry that energy and to transmit it to another human being requires an exceptional adherence to a code of love that is beyond the banal. And I have so many people that think they are fantastic healers. They'll never make it on my floor.
Oi.
They just won't.
Oi.
I've just gotten rid of a handful.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Where the rubber meets the road.
Oh. Mm. You have to remember, it's not all their fault. They're
No.
dealing
No.
with
I don't blame. I don't lay blame.
Yeah.
I don't lay blame.
I'm constantly reminded how difficult it is to separate the materialism of 3D from the desire to be an emissary of the light.
It all really comes down to the heart intent. Nothing else. Nothing else. Because the heart has the electromagnetic power that's 5,000 more times stronger than the brain.
Yes.
So ultimately, it's about the intent, your heart intent. And everything is energy. I mean, whatever you want to call it, everything is energy and everything is what you put into it. We're energy beings. Everything in life, in creation, is energy ultimately.
Robert, did you let them go because of their intention or lack of intention?
They became confused about their purpose.
Mm.
In a healing room, we can laugh. In a healing room, we can love. In a healing room, once we set our intent, we can let our guard down a little bit. But we can never stop being the healer. We must recognize the pain in another and triage and provide relief to those most severely suffering first. We must be pure in our intention.
Sometimes that intention is emotional healing, because some people are not meant to be healed, they're meant to move on. And we have to provide them with the opportunity to move on. Like me, for example, I would love to move on, but I know that I'm here for other things, so I have to stay. Nevertheless, I can't wait to go back to spirit.
In case you didn't realize it, you are there already. Allow yourself the luxury of seeing it, feeling it, and sensing it. You are spirit.
You are so right, Robert. You are so right.
Yes. We are all sovereign, integrals. We have that ability. We've just forgotten. And so we go through the motions of reminding each other. And I think, Robert, you may have reminded this group of what is essential. But it's something that we all have access to within ourselves if we go inside, following that technique of breathing through the solar plexus. And that is something, yeah.
Absolutely. And remember, we're only a small fraction here in physicality. That, the rest of us are, souls are really on the other side. So we're only experiencing a small fraction of who we are here.
Oh.
Challenge is to break the barrier and to allow ourselves to feel the whole of who we are.
Okay.
Breathing in, we pull the energy of the central sun into the crown chakra. Breathing out, we send it out to the world. And it energizes the light bodies of all.
Well, I just got a message for Reverend Sharon. She wanted to be on so much, but she had a problem with getting on. We're going to start signing off because it is after 10 now. It's partly my fault. I couldn't get the studio to respond. But in a parting question, Tony, Paulie, and Nelia, did you guys feel that this was worthwhile this evening?
Yes, and I'd love to get that document so I can read it again, because I think it was so well worth it, and it makes a ton of sense.
Well, practicing that, it's, as I said, it is the same technique used by yogis, and it's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It is a part of Kriya Yoga. It's part of the yoga system, Kriya, Kundalini, Prana Yoga, which is the science of breathing. And oh my goodness, things become much clearer. But the most important thing to remember is breathing through the heart. And it opens up the valves of love.
My dear friends, I'm going to depart you right now. I give you my love. I give you my blessings. I'm here for you, should you need me. I invite you all back into my center. Let's work on getting the thymus gland activated to be the crown to the heart.
Yes. Yes, that is one of the things on the agenda for this, just following this work. And I appreciate that you are an emissary, Reverend Robert.
Thank you.
And we bless you and know that whatever it is that you're here to do, you're doing it to the utmost. Oh my goodness, to the max, to the max.
I don't know about that, but I'm doing my best.
Well, you're giving yourself a little more credit.
Thank you.
Yes. And so we're going to say good night and God bless.
And the same to you all.
Yes. And namaste.
Namaste.
Good night, everyone.
Say good night.
Good night.
Okay. And